We're back for season 2.
Yes, it's bigger. It's badder. It's
Oh, just get on with it.
bad scripts.
Hello and welcome to the finale of season 2, chapter 2. We're back for more Last Resort here on the Bad Scripts podcast. And joining me, the man who needs no introduction but gets one every week anyway, it's none other than the inevitable Mr. Mike Garlia. Hi, Mike.
I am inevitably full of cold for this
You-
episode, Steve. So I've got to do my best to really performance out. How are you doing?
I'm all right. I'm so pleased that you decided to soldier through. I know that people are really excited about this episode. Whether they're excited for it to be over or they're excited to hear the conclusion of the episode, I'm not quite sure yet. But let's see how that goes. Now, I know we're on sort of running on empty and it's difficult to talk. But hey, I know you'll soldier through because you're an absolute star. So we will bear with you. I know the audience will, and I certainly will. Let's get straight into things and find out what happens down at Camp Holidays. Exterior, executive apartments, afternoon. The grand opening is finally here. A mixture of holiday makers, local and national press, resort management, and camp coats fill both sides of the aisles. The campcoats are moving along, entertaining and chatting to people as they wait for the event to start. Glenn is stood at the side of a small stage, waiting for his cue to take to the microphone. Alan enters, ushering along the celebrities who are following behind. Each one in turn stops to greet the public and sign autograph books as Alan makes his way directly to Glenn. Are we ready to go?
We certainly are. Well, the celebs have been briefed and are staying for one night only, attending the show tonight and giving press interviews tomorrow. We've comped the journalists who will also follow the celebs, and we're assured we should release each 7 coverage in a few days.
Good. What papers did we get?
Some of the biggies, News of the World, Sunday Mirror, Daily Star, Bella, and The Big Issue.
Really? What about the Times, the Guardian, or the Sun?
They passed. They didn't think this was newsworthy enough.
Not newsworthy? Small-minded idiots. We're single-handedly trying to save the British holiday industry here.
Well, there's some locals here too. The Gazette and Evening Post.
Who cares about them? Give them a meal voucher and get rid. Judy and Mark walk over to the other side of the stage, followed by 3 groups of families. They look excited and eager as Mark and Judy guide them into place. Remind me, how are we doing this again?
You'll give a bit of a speech. Then in each one of those buckets, there's numbered balls. Pick one of the yellow buckets, that's the family. In the green is the celebrities. You'll match them live on stage, and then each celebrity will join the family for tonight.
As Glenn is taking this information on board, there is clapping as Moo the cow is guided down the aisle by a smiley and happy Haley. Moo is placed behind Glenn and Alan. What's that doing here?
Moo is our beloved mascot, Glenn. We've named the penthouse suite after it. You'll be sharing with Moo tonight. It's your celebrity pair-up. I'll brief you later on the press interview tomorrow.
You are kidding me, right? The music lifts up, getting everyone's attention as the crowd shushes down. Photographers litter the front, are waiting to take pictures. The celebrities line up behind Glenn, ready for their moment. Mark takes a deep breath and walks onto the small stage and steps to the microphone.
Welcome to the grand opening of the newest and most exclusive resort accommodation in the British Isles. It gives me great pleasure to introduce our owner and visionary here at Camp Holidays, without whom we wouldn't be here today in such an amazing setting. Please show your appreciation all the way from the beautiful country of South Africa, Mr. Glenn Opperman.
There is clapping and whistling as Glenn strides onto the stage. The British holiday industry boomed in the Victorian era, evolved in the Roaring Twenties, suffered through the Great Depression of the 30s, and stalled during the 1940s, for obvious reasons. The 50s saw a comeback, which proved the amazing power and innovation of the Great British Holiday Resort, which then evolved through the 60s and 70s to what we see as a great institution. The last few decades, however, they've struggled. Some say it's the dreary weather, how easy it is to jump on a plane to the Costas. Not me. We relied on the power of institution and we got lazy. We stopped pushing the boundaries. We failed to listen to the ever changing needs of our guests. We fell behind. So we don't have the sunshine of Spain. Yes, we lack the heat of the Greek islands. And instead of barbecued fish on the beach, you get jellied eels or a bag of chips. But that doesn't mean we should give up. To remind the British public of what makes this place truly great, how special this resort is. We go back 100 years at camp, and we are still at the forefront of the industry. We have many imitators, but none can compete with our amazing staff, facilities, or world famous camp coats. And our beloved looks at his cheat cards. Moo the cow. That is what sets us apart. We've seen many famous people step through these gates and start their amazing careers as entertainers. These walls treasured memories for generations of British holidaymakers. And I'm sure we will see many more stars of the future grace this hallowed ground. And to that end, I'd like to welcome some very familiar faces to you, our guests of honour. Please come to the stage, join me. Glenn openly gestures to the gang of celebrities as Alan ushers them on. The crowd clapping, the photographers taking pictures. Moo the cow is guided on by Haley and positioned behind Glenn, mooing loudly as the head bobs up and down. We have a host of amazing changes and improvements coming to camp holidays to further rejuvenise and reinvigorate this amazing resort. Tonight we premiere our truly spectacular show, a feat so big and daring that no resort has ever attempted it. Day visitor tickets can be purchased at the box office. Alan is waving his hands around and catches Glenn's attention. Ah, it seems we have sold out tonight, but make sure you get them for tomorrow. Again, Alan waves, shaking his head. Well, anyway, it gives me great pleasure to officially open our brand new luxury accommodation for camp holidays. A place of exquisite beauty and quality, a place of tranquility and relaxation. We believe everyone should be given the chance to sleep like the stars. So our newly designed suites have been designed for exactly that. I'd like to welcome our competition winners to the stage also. Mark and Judy gesture to the families, who each walk to the back of the stage, all smiling broadly. Our families here will each spend time with one of our celebrity guests to truly live the VIP lifestyle. Until now, that has only been afforded to the rich and famous. The crowd clap again. I have the absolute pleasure of sharing with our very own superstar, Moo the cow. So I feel I have milked this speech long enough. He takes a slight pause for a few chuckles. So on with the grand opening. Alan walks onto the stage and hands Glenn a large pair of gold scissors. Glenn walks to the centre of the ceremonial ribbon. I declare the very first camp executive suites officially open. Glenn tries to snip the ribbon. Then again, and a third time. The ribbon doesn't cut. Alan walks over with a regular pair of scissors and hands them over, much to the sharp look from Glenn. Let's try that again, shall we? The ribbon drops to the floor and everyone claps. Now, we will start the tours in the next few minutes, but let's see which celebrities our families will sleep with. Glenn reaches into the yellow bucket and pulls out a numbered ball. It's number 4! An excited family step forward and come to the front where Glenn is stood. Welcome, family, and who are you?
We're the Earnshaw's, and we're from Dorset.
Well, nice to meet you, Earnshaw family. And tell me, which celebrity would you really like to spend the night with?
Well, I've always had a thing for that Annika Rice. Love a good bun bag, I do.
Right, okay, well, let's see who it is then. Glenn reaches into the green bucket and pulls out a ball. You'll be spending the night with. There is a drum roll sound effect as Glenn pauses for dramatic tension. The family look at all the celebrities with excitement and nervous energy. Ooh. So that was interesting. There was a
That's
lot
good.
of me in that.
That is really called milking a scene when we're writing it, isn't it? How long can we stretch out the grand opening of the executive suite?
Well, I can't take credit for that. It's one of those
Great
things, though, isn't
speech.
it? When you want to get into the flow of things, it's sometimes you feel like you need to build up and get into the right place. It's about pace, isn't it? And getting something built up, especially in speeches. Some of the best
I,
speech makers start off slowly and they build up and build up and build up and get the crowd with them.
But I think it also gives a great insight into what Glenn really thinks about Camp Resort. If you listen to that speech and you think about what he's saying it's stifled, it's old fashioned, it's not future focused, and he wants to do that. And interestingly, and I think that what I like about that speech is the fact that he's talking about we didn't listen to the guests, but he's still not listening to the guests.
Yeah.
And yeah, with
But
this,
how often do we hear of that from CEOs and stuff that we're listening to our customers, but then they don't really. They just go by a focus group or a marketing company that tells them what their customers thinking. They're not actually truly listening to the people that are there buying.
yeah, and like the whole motive. I mean, you've heard all the way through this season. They've been working on these executive suites. They can't really sell them. So up on earlier episodes, they pivoted their marketing approach to utilize this whole "live like the stars" type approach, which is where these competitions winners come from. So that was way back. That was like I think about 10 episodes ago we started talking about that. So it's
Yeah.
nice to see that circle back round, and we see the family and the celebrities are there, and these well, I suppose the future of it depends on how they market it and whether they sell them.
Yeah. Will it be as successful the press take to it? Cool. Okay, let's move on and see where it takes us next. Interior, main venue, night. The lights are dim, the atmosphere electric. An air of anticipation fills the atrium. The venue is packed tight, every chair taken, as those lucky enough to be at the premiere are excitedly chatting and laughing, awaiting Camp's new West End show. Seated at the front row are Mark, Wayne, Alan, John, Karen, and Judy, each of them dressed sharply in formal wear. A reserved chair, front and centre, awaits Glenn's arrival.
I thought I would never say this, but it looks like we're finally here.
Bit risky though.
What is?
Well, has anyone actually seen it or signed it off? I mean, it could be crap. Alan takes a deep breath, his nerves now on show.
Well, let's just hope it's not Wayne. I mean, I have I have full faith in Bernie, and what he's produced will be of an excellent standard, even if the journey to this point has been incredibly painful.
What if it's not?
Wayne,
I'm just saying.
if it's not, then Bernie's buggered.
They all look at Judy, surprised to hear her swearing. Ah! There's my A-team! Glenn, dressed in his tuxedo, appears behind them, along with his assistant, Marjorie, and the gaggle of celebrities that he is entertaining. They all take their seats. The lights dim even further, and the rumble of music fills the air. Smoke billows out onto the stage as the fanfare indicates the start of the show. A spotlight zigging across the room adds to the tension and excitement. The world-renowned Bernie DaCosta welcomes you to the premiere of his amazing new feat of entertainment. Never has a show been so bold. Never has one man's vision pushed the boundaries of what's possible. So sit back, relax, marvel, and feast on his visionary spectacle. DaCosta Productions, brought to you by Camp Resorts, presents your Showcase Extravaganza! The audience instantly applauds as the show begins. Ali is the first on stage and is met with enthusiastic cheers. The show starts and instantly engages the audience. Glenn sits smiling broadly, looks over at Alan and gives him a big thumbs up. Alan smiles back and returns the gesture, sighing relief when he looks away. Mark, upon seeing this, pats him on the back. The crescendo of the scene hits. The cast, surrounded by dancers, sing passionately. The beat kicks in as the show suddenly changes tempo, the cast shedding dullish garb to reveal different vibrant costumes underneath. The lasers erupt into life and light up the stage, etching images across the backdrop, setting the scene and telling an animated story. The audience are agog, captivated by the visual delights before them. Ali steps forward, ready for the high notes, as she takes a deep breath. Then, an almighty bang and blackout. Interior, the main venue, backstage, night. The venue is in complete darkness. From backstage, we can hear the audience beginning to panic as the lights do not return to their vibrant luminosity. The emergency generator quickly kicks in and bathes everywhere in yellow fluorescent light. Bernie is pacing frantically up and down, wearing a stage manager's headset. We can hear the sounds of fizzing and explosions coming from outside. Eddie, what the hell is going on? What's happened? There is nothing but static over the radio. Over. Eddie, can you bloody well respond? Over. Eddie, are you there? Over. We're a bit busy, Bernie. To someone else. Yeah, we'll need to evacuate right now. Evacuate? What the hell are you talking about? Switch the power back on now and let me get on with the show, goddammit. Over. Show's over. Over. I beg your... What do you mean? Who the hell do you think you're talking to? Get this fixed now or It'll be your arse, Eddie. Over. The power's down for the entire resort, Bernie. The whole resort? How the hell did this happen? You, Bernie. Your lasers. They've overloaded the system and blown it. All those loud bangs you can hear outside. Well, guess what? It's your fireworks detonating. That's how to blow 15 grand and no one gets to see. Over. Bernie looks completely in shock as it dawns on him. The cast begins circling him as they make their way backstage.
Bernie! Bernie! What do we do?
Everyone is looking at Bernie, awaiting direction. Bernie is looking around the area, not taking in faces.
Bernie! Can you hear me?
Bernie looks at Ali. What?
We don't know what to do.
Just do what you want. The show's over. Bernie walks away from the cast.
Right, everyone. In here quick.
She guides the cast to the main dressing room.
Let's be ready for when the power comes back on.
Some of the cast, looking annoyed and frustrated, shake their heads. They begin dispersing in different directions. People are leaving, Ali. We should probably get out too.
No! Listen, everyone. I'm going to wait in the dressing room ready to go when the power comes back on. We can save this. We don't need him.
The cast stare at Ali in disbelief, in two minds as for what to do. Yes, me too. I'm staying. Half the cast group around Ali and Robin. The rest start slowly leaving. Bernie comes back into view, carrying his satchel and jacket. He runs once again back into Ali and Robin. Bernie, we're going to stay. We can still do this. Bernie looks at Robin. Dear boy, you're so naive, and that's why you will never make it. You will always be a failure. Bernie walks right past Robin. From what I've seen, you're the only failure here. Running away when the going gets tough like a cheap little coward. You may not think much of me, but I'm at the start of my career and you're at the end of yours. You'll be remembered for your failures. I asked some friends in London about you. Very enlightening it was. Does the name Eric ring a bell? Nothing but a big, fat, egotistical drama queen. Well, honestly, I have never. You may as well give up any pathetic notion of making it anywhere. You're done. I'll make sure of that. Robin smiles sarcastically at Bernie and walks away. Bernie, seeking the exit, sees the fire escape and hurries through.
So Robin's made a few phone calls and suddenly got information about Bernie that no one's known about. That's a reveal.
Well, yeah, I think he's so like, him and Ali have been having chats something about how things are not organized and stuff, and I think we can read between the lines who he knows in the entertainment industry, that might have given him some insight there, yeah, from down in London. So for our regular listeners, that name might a certain ex-boyfriend might be able to have some connections. So I think that's probably where he's understood that. So Eric, there's a
E-
name.
Eric is so just I know we've kind of covered this in previous episodes, but this was a scene, ladies and gentlemen, that never quite made it through to the end product. And that was a scene about Eric, who is can I fill people in now? Is
Yeah,
that
I think
okay?
it's fair to say, yeah.
So we created this character called Eric, who was a London theatre producer and who was partnered with Bernie for many years. And a bit of backstory, and this will explain a lot, is that Bernie basically left Eric in the lurch and didn't see through on his commitments of a show down in London. Left Eric in quite a high amount of debt. And Eric's quite prominent in the entertainment industry down there, as you would expect a producer to be. So it just goes to show, like Robin knows someone who knows Eric, and word gets about and stuff. And as these people start talking, so it never quite made it into earlier into the show. Actually, we felt that it slowed the pace down a little bit, and it didn't really need to be there. We were revealing a little bit too much at the time. But there's little clues interwoven. So if you ever do have the patience to listen back on all of this, you'll start hearing little clues as we go through, because we took the base of that scene but fed it through the story without just creating a new character for the sake of a bit of backstory.
Yeah, and we debated it, didn't we? But we didn't want to give away too much too early, like you say. So let people believe what they want about Bernie and what have you. But now we're getting to the point where we can really start to understand this.
So the guy
Uh,
that we cast as Eric, and then we had to call you and tell you that you didn't have the part, we're sorry.
who knows? Who knows? Maybe in the future. Interior, main venue, night. The sickly yellow emergency lights illuminate the venue as the campcoats usher people in an orderly fashion out of the venue, all except for one on the front table. Slowly rising from a solitary chair and turning to face everyone is a furious looking Glenn. I want fucking answers. Tell me what happened to my goddamn show. Mark, Alan, and Judy look at each other as if to find explanation. Glenn looks around in disbelief. No? No one will speak, eh? So let me try and summarize what I think has just happened. That show has just blew a fuse, and now I have a colossal blackout across the whole of my resort, causing irreparable damage to our reputation. Would you say that about sums it up?
I I just I don't know what to say, Glenn.
Who are you, Alan?
Who am I?
Are you not my resort director? This shit show happened on your watch, Alan. I hold you all responsible. This place is run by clowns. Whoa, wait a minute. That's not very fair. I'm sorry. Did you say something, Mollig? It's Wayne. And if you want to blame someone, then get that lunatic Bernie DeCosta out here. It's all his fault.
Wayne.
No, he needs to hear this, Mark. You give him the keys to the castle. Let him do whatever the hell he wants, answering to no one, showing zero respect, walking about like he owns a place. This means you're to blame too. You better shut your puppy up before he gets bitten, Alan.
Glenn, I'm sorry, but look, he does have a...
Everyone looks at Alan. John, panting and out of breath, comes running back to the table.
Good news. We've sorted the breakers and managed to get the transformers reset across the resort. Power will be back on soon. Those lasers caused it, so we've disconnected them. Should be stable now.
It's too late. We've lost the night. It'll be all over the press by tomorrow. Page 7, you said. More like page bloody 1.
We can fix this.
Suddenly, the power reboots, and lights fill the venue, which is now half empty. All the remaining guests who are lining up calmly look around unsure, seeking direction.
Glenn, this is what we do. What we've done for decades. Find solutions. This team, they're experts in turning bad situations around. I demand you give us a chance.
Glenn scans everyone, and with little option, reluctantly nods his head. Do it. But let me be clear. If you cannot turn this shit show around, I want all your resignations in the morning. Deal? Alan, Mark, Wayne, and Judy look at each other. They all nod their heads in agreement.
Deal.
Right. And what do you need from me?
Okay. Let me think. Okay, right. You and I will pick up with the celebrities in the press. The VIP area was meant for the interval, but we'll use it now. Ply them with alcohol. Mark, team, you know what to do.
Alan immediately guides Glenn away from the table, looking back at Mark and nodding his head. What the hell is a mollig?
We need you, Judy.
Judy looks at Mark sternly.
Let me be very clear. I won't do this. Not for Bernie de goddamn Costa. He can go to hell doused in excrement for all I care. I'll do this for one thing I love. I'll do this for camp. Judy, just when I thought I knew you inside and out, you turn around and you amaze me. Let's just see. Bernie may not even let me in. I'll deal with Bernie. You fix the show. What can I do to help? John, can you coordinate with the campcoach outside? Start getting everyone back in? Let's get the horse playing some music and announcing there's been a technical blip, which is now fixed.
And me?
I need time, Wayne.
What do you mean, time?
We promised them an epic show, right? Maybe we need to roll back the clock. Head backstage. You'll see I took the liberty of having your prop chest put in the stage manager's office.
You don't mean... A big grin fills Wayne's face. How does 20 minutes sound?
Can you last that long?
Longer if you need it. Judy suddenly hugs Wayne.
Thank you, and good luck.
Eddie, there should be a pre-programmed lighting plan on the system. It's in the folder, The Best. Fire it up. Judy and Mark quickly walk away. Wayne, still smiling, looks at Marjorie, who is still seated watching everything with no expression. Cheer up, love. You're about to get whacked. Interior, main venue, night. The auditorium is filled once again. Basked in the house lights, there is much chatter amongst the guests, speculating over what could have caused the hold-up and the sudden blackout. Without warning, the house lights go out. Spotlights dash across the stage, and the audience noise quickly hushes and fanfare begins. The curtains open. Standing in the centre of the stage, wearing oversized blue overalls with a bright yellow t-shirt, an oversized baseball cap pointing backwards and painted on bright red cheeks, stands Wacky Wayne, arms outstretched triumphantly. Margaret, who has slipped into the venue unnoticed, jumps out of a mobility scooter and screams at the top of her voice. Yes! Various tables of regular families spotted around the venue, then burst into a standing applause. instantly recognising the man dominating the stage. Wacky Wayne milks the applause before moving to the front of the stage, tripping and rolling into a standing position, before bowing dramatically to much amusement. "Watch your gang!" A few audience members, including Margaret, enthusiastically reply. "Watch your Wacky!" "Oh, that's not good enough! You can do better than that! I said watch your gang!" The remaining audience members now understand their role and reply enthusiastically, "Watch your Wacky!" We see a broad smile across Wayne's face. He begins to perform his old act. We follow in slow motion as he dances effortlessly across the boards. Flashes of children and adults alike laughing joyously as he prank falls and performs magic tricks. We see the audience from behind Wayne, the footlights basking his ample frame in warm light. Laughter and applause fills the room. Margaret, holding her hands to her chest in deep pride and admiration, is both laughing and crying, tears of joy sweeping down her face as she gets involved in the show. Interior, main venue, backstage, night. Judy and Mark enter the backstage dressing room and look around. Half the cast are there, including Ali, Robin, and the Slovakians.
Where on earth is everyone? Where is Bernie?
He's done a runner. The rest of the cast left at the blackout.
You sure he left?
I saw him. I spoke to him. He's gone. Judy to Mark.
Well, that's one problem solved. Is this all we have left? I tried to get people to stay, but no. You did great, Ali. Well done.
Judy faces everyone. She lifts her head high and commands the room.
We have a problem. There is 1,000 people out there who are paid to watch you perform the best show they have ever seen. The problem is, we no longer have that show. So what do we do? What can we do, Judy? Half the cast have gone. And yet, you remain, proving yourselves professional, hardy, and committed. All the ingredients of wonderful performers. Now is the time we dig deep. Now is the time we prove ourselves. Now is the time we remember why we wanted to be actors, dancers, and singers in the first place. Now we explore our creative sides to find a solution to the problem we face. We have 30 minutes to find our show. So who's with me?
Robin and Ali stand up. The rest of the cast follow suit. The Slovakians join the crowd, all circled around Judy.
Good. Now someone get me the bloody script. I think I started to sound more and more like David Attenborough through that scene.
There was a little touch of that, but it was
really
good.
was.
No, it was fine, honestly. It was good.
And here, backstage in the tundra,
in the plains.
performers in the wilderness, and they don't know.
Main venue, night. The cast take what appears to be a second triumphant bow. Ali and Robin in the centre, as the entire audience are on their feet, clapping, cheering, whistling and whooping. The curtain slowly drops as background music fills the air. Glenn, now sat in the VIP section with his celebrity guests, looks over at Alan, smiles, lifts his champagne glass and toasts him, then everyone else. Mark and Alan both look relieved. Mark enthusiastically pats the shoulder of a sweaty Wayne, still with remnants of the grease paint on his cheeks, who smiles broadly. John, amazed by what he's just witnessed, nods his head in admiration. Marjorie, who has drunk a little too much, is stood on her chair, whooping and hollering. Well, we hope you've enjoyed our brand new extravaganza. Wasn't it amazing? The night is not yet over. Coming up shortly, a brand new visiting act making their Camp Holidays debut, Black and Blue. So grab another drink, get your party on, and we'll get ready to dance the night away. The song Dance the Night Away starts to play. Glenn stands up, pats Mark on the back, shakes Alan's hand, and leaves the venue, his phone going to his ear as he does so. Exterior, car park, night. A car is basked in an orange glow from the street lamps dotted around the car park's edge. A car boot is open and we see Bernie hurriedly throwing suitcases and plastic bin bags into the car. He struggles to get everything in due to his panic. Going somewhere, are we? Bernie jumps in fear, not expecting anyone to witness his actions. He quickly closes the boot, desperately trying to conceal his flitting. Oh, Glenn, darling, I didn't see you there. I was, just getting some air. Awfully hot in there. Glenn is stood in partial darkness, the lampshade above masking his face, as he pulls a lighter from his pockets, slowly placing a large cigar into his mouth. The flame dances across his eyes. A look of anger fizzles as he takes a long puff on his Cuban. Bernie, before I brought you here, do you remember our conversation in Cape Town? Of course, You told me that you would give me West End production values. A show no one would ever forget. And for the most part I have. I mean, it's working with these amateurs. This backwater town, they saved your show tonight. Do you hear that? Glenn gestures to the rear fire door of the main venue, where muffled but enthusiastic applause can still be heard. Yeah, that's the audience. That's what they've been thoroughly entertained. Those so-called amateurs took the disaster you've been creating for months and made a success of it, in a matter of minutes, while you were running away from your own incompetence. Those amateurs stepped up, Bernie. Bernie takes a few steps towards the main venue, listening to the roars and cheers echoing out of the building. He turns back to Glenn, anger on his face as he wanders back to his car. This is sabotage. They must have done this with... Why? Bernie shuffles uncomfortably, nervously resting against the boot of his car. Glenn looks up, and his face is basked in the orange light, his eyes black and staring. He slowly takes a puff of his cigar, holding his silence long enough to make Bernie uncomfortable. Do you think I'm a fool, Bernie? Glenn begins to play with his solid silver lighter, flicking it open and lighting it before flicking it closed to extinguish the flame. Bernie swallows hard before replying. No, of course not, Glenn. I would never. I don't like to be fucked around, Bernie. I vouched for you. I put my faith and my money into you. I'm not a man to be trifled with. I can make it very uncomfortable if I see fit. Glenn steps forward into the lamplight and stands toe-to-toe with Bernie, who flinches slightly at the imposing figure stood over him. I'll go back and I'll apologise. I'll make it work. Next week the show will be flawless. You don't know much about my country, do you, Bernie? You see, when apartheid ended, people wanted revenge. They craved the recompense for years of oppression. Well, being human of nature, they naturally turned to violence. It's a turbulent time, you see. Change always brings around disruption. But it's also bad for business. Being the entrepreneur I am, I've gotten good at spotting threats and extinguishing them, because they can cause me and my endeavours a lot of harm. Oh, these enemies can come in all shapes and sizes, all guises, from within and from the outside, and sometimes one sneaks through. You, Bernie, are such a threat to my plan. So what should I do with you? Glenn exhales and reaches his hand out, touches Bernie's glasses chain hanging to his chest. Bernie whimpers, as if expecting to be struck. Glenn looks down to see a large wet patch develop on Bernie's yellow corduroy trousers. Please don't hurt me. You really are pathetic. You know what? I could ruin your life. Make it so you never work again. But look at you. A sorry excuse for a man you really are. I don't want you anywhere near my show, or even my resort for that matter. Bernie is sobbing gently. Glenn takes a step back to survey his prey. Bernie shuffles around the side of the car. Glenn, please, my work is all I have. Too bad. Your attitude to all this just proves what a snivelling little rat you are. I want you off my resort now. I'm going to go and get a drink,
and if you aren't off the site in the next 5 minutes, then I won't be responsible for my actions. Bernie doesn't protest. Instead, he jumps into the driving seat of his car, starts the engine, but in his haste, he leaves the car in gear, jumping forward and bumping into a barrier. Glenn turns on his heels and starts to walk back towards the venue. Behind him, Bernie's car screeches into reverse and speeds out of the car park towards the main gate. A long, broad smile grows across Glenn's face as he takes a long, slow drag on his cigar before walking through the fire exit once more.
Interior main venue night. The main venue remains busy, with the bar at least 4 people deep. Colin and Gary, along with the other bar staff, are doing their best to serve everyone quickly and equally, despite the cries of protest and waving of £10 notes. Adults, children, and campcoats alike are packed onto the dance floor, a mass of moving and gyrating activity as music fills the venue. The song fades out, as dancing then slowly stops, and everyone faces the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's a night of firsts. Making their Camp Holidays debut, please give it up for our brand new touring band. It's Black and Blue! The band enters the stage. The drummer, followed by the lead guitarist, bass player, male and female singer. The crowd claps enthusiastically.
Thank you. We're Black and Blue. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
The band starts playing Red Alert by Basement Jaxx. The dancing starts again, and the revellers continue having a good time. Dan is near the back and moving along to the beat, talking to guests and encouraging people up. He walks towards the stage and stops, watching the new band play. Oh shit! Staring motionless for a moment, he abruptly turns and speedily walks towards Paula, who is dancing with a very young girl. Hey Paula, are you busy? Just dancing about. Can you do me a favour? Depends what it is, really. I need to stay here to supervise. Think you could run over to the events office and ask Adam to pop over? Sure. What for? Just tell him I need to talk to him pretty urgently. Well, can't it wait? It's fine. I'll ask someone else. Don't worry about it. Paula leaves the young girl and steps closer to Dan. It's fine. I'll go. But it's just in case he asks. Thanks, Paula. I owe you. Interior, entertainment's office, night. Adam is in the office, sitting at the desk and doing nothing in particular. Paula walks in, a little out of breath. All right, Adam.
I'm all right. Are you?
Whew. Yeah, I just ran up the steps, a bit out of breath.
I see.
Adam chuckles at this. Dan needs to see you in the main venue.
Dan? Why?
I've no idea, but it seemed like it was important.
Well, I have to man the office.
I can take over for 10 if you like. I could use a break from music anyway.
I wasn't really planning to go in there tonight, though.
Really?
Yeah? Why are you saying that?
Sally? All that she's gone on about all night is that she's meeting you.
And that's why. She's a bit clingy.
She's still a person, Adam. If you're not into her, you should just say.
Are you kidding? We've hooked up like twice. It's nothing.
Paula gives Adam a harsh look and holds his gaze.
Fine. I'll pop over. Can you stay here? I won't be long.
Paula walks towards the desk as Adam stands up. You know, mate, you don't always have to be like that.
Like what?
A bit of a prick.
That's a bit harsh. I'm just having fun.
Are the girls you constantly pick up and drop having fun too? Sally really likes you. Ali had a thing too, not to mention how many guests and staff. So I'm just saying, don't be a prick. Adam looks at Paula as she sits down, her back towards him. He decides to say nothing and just walks away. Interior, main venue, night. Adam walks into the venue but hovers near the back, looking for Dan. He spots him and waves. Dan quickly comes walking over to him. All right, mate.
I got your message. What's up?
I need to tell you something. I don't want you to freak out. As Dan says this, Donna walks into the venue and walks straight up to them. Oh, there you are. I've been calling, looking everywhere for you. Hi, Adam.
Hi, Donna.
All right, Donna, love. Can I just have a minute? I need to talk to Adam. I need to speak to you as well. It's really important. Dan looks at Donna. She has a desperate look in her eyes. Adam looks at them both, confused as to what's going on. I think I know what you're going to say. I don't think you do. It's okay. I already know. How could you? Because I've seen it myself. Donna looks confused. You could have told us. Told you? Well, Adam more than me. Well, why? Why would I tell Adam? Well, he has a right to know more than me. Why didn't you say something before? I don't know. I mean, I still don't. You must have known for ages. You always find these things out first.
Guys, I'll be honest, no idea what you're talking about, but I'll leave you be.
No, Adam, you need to hear this. Adam doesn't need to hear anything. I need to speak to you, Dan. Alone. I respectfully disagree, love. Tell Adam straight out what you were going to tell me, because I already know what you're going to say. Fine. I'm late. Adam suddenly looks shocked. Dan doesn't react. What do you mean? Donna looks over at Adam.
Donna is right. Not something I should be involved with. Good luck, guys.
No, Adam! Wait! Really? Adam quickly walks away. Donna takes Dan's arm and leads him away. We follow Adam as he walks almost into Sally. Adam sighs, which quickly he turns into a smile.
Oh my God, you came! I'm so happy! Yay! Yeah, told you I would.
Sally goes to embrace Adam, who steps back.
We can't, not out here. You're on duty.
Adam then hears the band as Sally starts talking to him. He doesn't turn to look at them, but he's nodding his hand in time to the music. Nodding his hand?
He's nodding his hand. That
Brilliant.
does actually say that. He's nodding his hand in time with the music.
I just read what's on the auto cue.
So you're going to give me a snuggle or what? Not here.
Sally grabs Adam's arm and leads him quickly round to the backstage door. They go inside. Interior, main venue, production box, night. Dan and Donna step into the production box and move into a corner. Eddie and the technicians are working busily away and don't notice that the two of them are there. Dan, I'm late. You're not. We weren't meeting till after 11, remember? It's only 10:30 now. Dan, listen to me. I'm late. Donna motions down towards her groin area. Dan follows her gaze down and then back up as the penny drops. A look of pure shock and terror crosses his face. Donna has a scared and worried look on her face too. Oh, shit. No! Interior, main venue, backstage, night. Adam is leant against the wall with Sally in front of him. She's kissing him quite passionately and petting him. As she does so, Adam keeps looking with one eye open, trying to see if anyone is watching or noticing.
I really want you, like right now.
She kisses him again. Her hands reach down to grab him.
Where are we going?
Adam looks around and sees an open dressing room, door ajar.
In there. That's the band's dressing room. They're on stage. I'm sure they won't mind. Hey, it's very rock and roll, right?
Sally nods and they go into the dressing room. They immediately start undoing each other's clothes, whilst kissing and caressing each other. Just as they're about to do the deed, the door opens and a surprising-looking bass player spots them. sees the situation and smiles. Adam and Sally immediately separate and hurriedly begin dressing again.
Yeah. Sorry about that, mate.
Rock and roll, right?
Adam laughs.
Rock and roll.
Carry on. Don't mind me.
I think that's too rock and roll even for me, mate.
Shame.
Great set tonight, though. Vocals were cracking.
There is activity at the door as the drummer, the male singer, and the lead guitarist all enter.
I was just saying, guys, bloody great show tonight.
We got a fan already?
Yeah, something like that.
So when you're all back?
We're the new touring band, mate. We'll be here every week.
Cool. I'll come and watch the full set next time you're here then, yeah?
The band members sit down and look at Adam and Sally. There's a bit of an awkward silence.
Well, we'll be off then. Come on, Sally.
Sally walks to Adam and takes his hand. They start to exit through the door, bumping directly into the female vocalist. They all stand motionless, a look of bewilderment on Adam's face. Adam?
Sam?
End of chapter! Da, da, da. So much to unpack there, mate. So much to unpack.
Sam is back.
She is. So just to sort of get that the technicality of that, she was sacked as a direct employee, but now she's working like as a contractor, like as a visiting act. So she's kind of okay to
She's
still
the
be there.
band. She's
in the band, man.
She's living the dream. That's what she wanted to do. Remember? That's what Judy offered her. Do you remember? Judy was like, "I've got this role for you. It's going to be in the house band."
Yeah, that would have been the house band, but this is like a touring band
Touring
instead, isn't
band,
it? So
yeah.
it's like the alternative that still works. So you have to wonder if Judy's kind of orchestrated this in the background to try and
I
make,
don't know.
We'll have to see.
I
Maybe
don't know.
we'll find out.
Did we even discuss that? Did we think that far ahead? I definitely didn't make that connection while we were
Well,
writing it.
She knows that they've obviously okayed who the band are when they're agreeing to sign them up. They've seen them perform and what have you. So there's been some of that, but how nice is it to see?
Let's just recap for a second. I'm going to give your voice a little resty because you did a lot of legwork in that episode. A lot of legwork, and well done to you, my friend. The last time Adam and Sam spoke was Christmas. So this is like months and months later. Adam throws his mobile phone into the sea in temper and anger and hurt and upset because Adam's ex-boyfriend answers. Sam's ex-boyfriend answers the phone, and Adam, in his paranoia, right through those Christmas episodes, all the way back in December last year, and they haven't spoken since. They haven't been in touch with anyone. I think Dan saw Sam on the stage. He thought Donna knew. That's what he was referring to. Donna probably knows, but hasn't said anything. And now Sam is back. Which I've got to ask you a question, Steve, because I'm not going to answer this. Was it by accident, or did we always know this was going to happen?
Well, I think we can say we knew this was going to happen, and we knew this was going to happen before the beginning of season 2. So this was always in the plan, and it was just a case of building up to there. On another note as well, how scary was Glenn in the car park with Bernie there? Made him wet himself. I mean,
Is it just me, or was there some kind of gratification from that? I honestly loved, like, I loved the way that Glenn just started to build it up really menacingly, but also brought in some of his own background and experiences of building a business, in South Africa. And you don't get to a man of his level without breaking a few eggs, so to speak.
Yeah.
And Bernie's been such a shit. There's been no redeeming quality to Bernie. It's not like he's been nice at all, because he hasn't.
No.
And I think the fact that his show falls apart, Judy saves the day, Glenn knows it, Bernie tries to save himself, and Glenn just steps on him like a bug, to the point where
he's essentially run away, though, hasn't he? He's packing his car up to get out of there, and there's there's no redeeming quality. The man is abandoning them all to get out, like he did with Eric that we talked about. He's abandoning again and trying to get away from the problems, but then tries to rebuff that and go back when he hears the applause and stuff, thinking that the show's just gone ahead and his cast are performing again. So the man's absolutely vile. So it's
It
really
is.
pretty
And
gross.
can I just remind everyone of an early connection as well? And that was Bernie did essentially steal Judy and Mark's show at the very,
Yeah.
very beginning, all those episodes ago, 15 episodes ago. Judy and Mark pitched an idea to Glenn, which he didn't like. Judy is taking her original vision in 30 minutes, chopped down all the fluff and all the grandiose stuff that Bernie's put in to overcomplicate it. And I would probably assume that she's delivered the show that she always wanted to deliver, which has turned out to be this wonderful success. So for me, I think that is that whole circle back to the very first episode and how it all started to unravel with this character Bernie right through 15 episodes later, been ran out of the resort, which I think is a brilliant way to end his character.
Absolutely. And I mean, will we see him again in the third chapter? I very much doubt so. There's also the Donna being late. That's a bit of a revelation. She's obviously um, late on a period, and Dan's horrified expression again, something that will drag over into chapter 3, and we'll see what that means, what the ramifications of that situation. Now, will they end up having a baby? Will they not? All of that. I guess we can unpack more. We're going to do a chapter review special on this. We've got some other specials coming up too. Some really interesting, hopefully special guests to join us too. We've gone on long enough for everybody today. So, Mike, hopefully, because this is the end of the chapter, you've got a banger of a final thought for us for this week. So, if you would leave us with some great insight that we need to take with us as we end this chapter of The Last Resort Season 2.
I think to summarize the journey we've been on in this particular chapter, the first one I would have to say is never give up hope. When things are really, really bad or look like they're unraveling, there is always an option. There is always something to turn to. We just have to change our thinking. And the second point is, when you work with idiots, sometimes you have to snarl and show your teeth.
Fantastic. I don't think I could add any more to that. What I'll say is thank you for joining us through this chapter of Season 2. We hope you've enjoyed what's gone on with our story. If you've got any questions or comments, be sure to stick them on the social media channels. And thank you. And join us next time for more Last Resort, the Bad Scripts podcast. But for now, goodbye. Bad Scripts was written and performed by Mike Garlia and Steve Jones, a Beach Tide production.